Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Joe and Joe Weather Show on this Sunday evening. My apologies again. I had a last minute family situation that I had to take care of and be part of. And that was why we switched the show from the usual 11 a.m. Eastern Time start to the 7 p.m. start. So I appreciate everybody's indulgence and everybody's patience. And the Joe and Joe Weather Show is brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, the folks that provide Long Island and much of the tri-state area in the spring with mulch. And they've got tons of mulch. In fact, they make it all themselves, so they rarely, if ever, come out. You can see it. They have it in different colors. And bring your truck there, whether you're a person trying to get your house in order or you're a landscaper. Just head over to Omni True Value Hardware, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town, omnitruevalue.com. And tonight, brought to you also by our friends at Wholesale Holiday Lighting by Giannini, your complete holiday lighting specialist, meeting all your decorating needs. And they're at 162 Ocean Avenue in Lindenhurst on Long Island. The phone number there, 631-957-5106, whether you are thinking about having them decorate your home or maybe you are a landscaper, want to making this part of your business, give them a call at Wholesale Holiday Lighting, and the website is liholidaylighting.com. And Joseph, started out okay today. I noticed the clouds rolling in on the satellite and also a few sprinkles of rain here and there. But I'm thinking about Wednesday, and I'm wondering about your never to be humble opinion on this. But this cold front that's coming through on Wednesday, I think has the possibility to make a little noise when it goes through. And while SPC has predictability too low on their day 4, which sort of means, well, maybe there could be severe weather, but we're just not exactly sure if all the parameters are going to come together, so we're going to kick the can down the road. I was looking at some of the upper air, particularly looking at the 700 millibar, and also I happened to look at the 700 millibar FGen map. And I noticed a lot of omega there. I mean, quite a bit of omega coming through Wednesday afternoon and evening. I think there's a chance that they might, tomorrow, we might see a little area of marginal risk showing up along for the areas from the northern mid-Atlantic on up into southern New England.
Well, first off, before we jump to Wednesday, I think we have a chance for a little bit of convection tomorrow. There's a little ripple of instability that will be moving on through during the afternoon tomorrow. And I threw in a chance. It's a small chance, but I still made a mention of a chance for a thunder shower here on the afternoon of Monday. Tuesday looks like a gorgeous day. I'm going right out and saying it's going to be the pick of the week. Probably one of the nicest weather days I think we've seen around here in quite some time. Room temperature, 70 to 72, bright sunshine. Southwest winds, but very light, 5-6 miles per hour. Can't ask for much more than that. And yeah, Joe, I think Wednesday it would not be out of the question if we saw a little bit of convection with the next weather system moving on through. I'm not sure if I would be speculating as to whether or not we might see marginal risk of convection here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did have that. And then we go back to an improving weather pattern and nice weather as we move into Thursday, although Thursday and Friday, especially Friday, much cooler compared to what we're looking at for Tuesday. 70 or 72 on Tuesday. Maybe by Thursday and Friday, we may have a tough time getting much above the low and mid 50s.
I'm also thinking on Thursday into Friday, it's going to be windy. I don't know if it'll be enough to be.
Yes.
I don't think. I'm thinking just below wind advisory criteria from what I'm seeing at this point.
Yep, the winds will be freshening up quite a bit. And again, out of the northwest, I don't think we're going to hit wind advisory, but 30, 35 mile per hour gust, maybe a little stronger. not out of the question when we get on into the latter part of the week. So, at first glance, it doesn't look like much of a week weather-wise, but as you said, Joe, some of these systems may be making a little bit of noise, especially the middle and latter part of the week.
So Keith Smolin, who is worried about his softball game at 6:30 p.m. in Paramus on Wednesday, would be wise to keep an eye on the radar, Keith, during the afternoon and evening. It's probably going to be a narrowish line. It won't last long, but again, depending on the timing, it could interfere with one's softball game, or maybe it pushes through a couple of hours early, and by 6:30, 7 o'clock, it'll be long gone. That is a problem for us to figure over the next couple of days.
Yes, absolutely. And you talk about Omega, Joe, and if you take a look at the FGen for tomorrow, one of the reasons why I had mentioned
well, let's do that. I'll bring
risk.
I'll bring it up. Just give me a moment here, and I will do exactly that. Okay, so let's see. Pick up. Joe Rayo wants the FGen, so I'm going to bring up the FGen for the 700 millibar. FGen standing for frontogenesis. Now, I had it preset for Wednesday evening, which is loaded with FGen. But let's roll back first to Monday. And you guys are going to have to just bear with me because the circle of death is going to show up on the maps. There you go. But I think
actually, Joe, what I was going to say was, as far as FGen is concerned for tomorrow, there really isn't much.
Yeah, there really is not much
write
tomorrow.
Home about.
Tomorrow. The only thing about tomorrow is you still have a kind of a coldish upper air and I think some instability. With that warmer air coming up from the south, maybe getting a little bit of lift. It wouldn't be a shocker if you wind up seeing a scattered shower or a thunderstorm running around.
But you're absolutely right about, especially at the 850 level on, later Wednesday and Wednesday night, looks like somebody splattered a line of spaghetti across much of the tri-state area between, let's say, 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock Wednesday afternoon and evening. And yeah, that certainly could lead or loan itself to producing a few rumbles or peals of thunder here with that next line, that next frontal line moving on by and that certainly is going to help to drive out the very balmy air that's going to be over us on Tuesday. In fact, looking at the 850, the 0 Celsius 850 line crosses through the area about the same time later on Wednesday and Wednesday evening. And then we get into as I said, much cooler airflow as we move into Thursday and on into Friday as well. By Friday, I'm looking here, actually by Thursday morning, we have an 850 temperature over us of about -9. -9 for late
cold.
April at 850. That is chilly. That is cold. That is chilly. So I hope all of you enjoy and savor what we're going to have here on Tuesday with the low 70s and sunshine, because it's going to be a completely different world here when we get to Thursday and for Friday.
Yeah, on the situation for Wednesday, I just pulled up the 500 millibar, and I mean I'm sorry, the 700 millibar map here, about 10,000 feet. That's a sharp trough that's moving on through. And also noticing, the darker red here, the strong jet that with winds of 50 to 60 knots at that level. It's not like you see it when you see it in those situations where you get those little dots, those little, they look like measles, those little dots of very, very strong winds. Those are usually with fronts that tend to produce the chance for some rotation. I think in this particular instance, this might be a front that would produce strong gusty winds as it goes by. That would be my one, assuming that those winds at 700 millibar wind up mixing down at the surface. And then, of course, that storm system up here, this upper low, is going to be strengthening along with the surface low in eastern Canada. And you got a nice big high with that cold Canadian air coming down. The strong April sun on Thursday going to work, going to create a lot of mixing. So no doubt it's going to be very, very chilly for this time of year. It's also going to be, on the windy side. And by the way, this system is this upper trough is actually going to produce some snow in a few places. And I've got the Weather Service's digital forecast here, and there it's not a lot, but for central and northern Indiana, I know on the Stuart Blair on the board who watches from central Indiana. 1 inch at Indianapolis, but you go up further north in the northern counties, you've got a lot of 2s, 3s, and 4s being indicated by the Weather Service forecast there. Also in southern Michigan, Detroit getting a 4 into northwest Ohio. Again, this takes us to Wednesday evening. So there'll also probably be some additional numbers maybe up in the upstate New York, because I think there's going to be actually some lake effect that may go on with this come Wednesday night into Thursday. So pretty interesting late, well, it's not quite late April, but getting there situation. And by the way, this snow is also going to be producing 1 to 3 inches across parts of northern Missouri, southern Iowa, central Illinois, back through the northern half of Kansas, southern Nebraska, and then the numbers pick up a bit in the mountains west of Denver, with some places getting up to about a foot. Not a widespread snowfall, just kind of concentrated there, about 50 to 100 miles northwest of Denver. And also seeing some big snows in parts of north central Wyoming and on up into central and western Montana. And the Weather Service, I'll pull up the watches and warnings map, and you can see on this, we're talking winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories, more winter weather advisories than winter storm warnings, up from north central Colorado through eastern Wyoming and north central Wyoming, cutting across into Montana, parts of Nebraska, and western South Dakota. Nothing going on up and down the East Coast. Pretty quiet there. Frosts and freezes for the middle Mississippi Valley being indicated. And that brightish blue up in the state of Washington, 1, 2, 3, I'm eyeballing this, 4, looks like 5 counties there. Seattle's in between all of this, obviously, but in the mountains to the west and also to the east, avalanche warnings. It's that time of year for the snows to come cascading down at 200 miles an hour down the sides of the mountains.
Well, gee, I wouldn't want to be a skier in the Cascades for that type of an event.
No, I would say no, you wouldn't want. That's something that you would like to avoid.
I think so. Kind of amazing that, now here we are now. Yeah, we're not quite yet into late. Well, if you want to look at it from the standpoint of anything after the 15th being late, what we have now is really kind of a backward spring, I would suppose. Although, again, we're going to be teased a bit on Tuesday with those temps in the 70s, and then we're just going to get thrown right back into an unseasonably chilly air mass. The normal high temperature here in the Hudson Valley, Joe, at this time of the year should be somewhere around 61 to 66. And here we are talking about low 70s on Tuesday, and yet by Thursday and Friday, talking about temperatures in the low and mid 50s. And at night, Thursday night, Friday night, look at heat temperatures tumbling all the way down into the middle 30s. We're having a little bit of a discussion, Renata and I, this afternoon, as to whether or not it might be able to put out some of her plants. And she's got palm trees in the garage that we keep in over the wintertime. She was wondering whether or not she should pull them out now. I'm not quite sure with those temperatures on Thursday night, for example, maybe dipping on down. We're similar to Newburgh in terms of temperatures, and the Moss, and this could change obviously, but Moss on Thursday morning has us at around 30 degrees. This comes after a day on Tuesday where temperatures may be all the way up in the low 70s. So we got some up and downs coming our way this upcoming week.
Somebody's going to be carrying pots in. I wonder who that someone is.
Well, we have the palm trees, and she's got like 5 of them, and we have rollers. They're on big heavy, you know, uh, vase, I guess you can call it, and then we put them on rollers, which we can roll in and out of the garage. So the one thing I am not going to do is carry those big palms outside. Um, but yeah, it may be a little nippy for the palm trees come Wednesday night and Thursday.
Matt Bowles says, I'm about to take my snow tires off the car, so we're going to get a blizzard with no warning here. Uh, I, I don't, I haven't put snow tires on my car in years. They still have snow tires?
Now, I think ever since the radials came out, I think the snow tires have been gradually phased out. Um, Incidentally, we talk about possible convection. I don't know if you remember this. It was about a year ago that we had a situation where we had one of these springtime upper level disturbances that came in and brought a rather exciting afternoon, complete with strong downdrafts, gusty winds, hail, uh, and an incredible surge of cold air advection behind the front. I think that eventually in the Philadelphia and South Jersey area touched off some tornadoes. Again, that was 1 year ago. I don't know if you recall that. I think I even sent you a technical paper, an email on that event.
Very vaguely.
I think think it was one of those V frontal passages that came on through.
Yeah, we had a couple of those, I think, last spring. David Fuller hitting super chat tonight. Thank you very much for doing that, David. Most appreciated. And Donna Lavasseur asking about how are we doing, because you and I both have got our vaccines. I had no problems with either one. I'm fine. Joe, you had some minor issues just for a very short time, but I'm assuming you're good too.
Yeah, I'm fine. By the way, I said one of those V situations. What I meant to say was an inverted V soundings, and the case studies on such things it usually led to. But we're not seeing that this year. That was last year at this time. So we'll see. Maybe Mother Nature is going to try to celebrate last year's poundings with its own share of instability and convection along about the middle part of this week. Nothing like that though, like as compared to last year.
Yeah. By the way, it should be noted when you're in a cold pattern in April, the atmosphere behaves a lot differently than when you're in a cold pattern, say in January. Because when you're in a cold pattern in January, and when you get into that position when you're sort of in between systems. So let's pretend that we have this kind of a surface in January. What would probably happen is that you would get 2 or 3 very cold days, and then when you get the warm ups, you see your temperatures maybe edge up back to normal. Maybe you go a couple of degrees above normal for about a day, then you get the next shot of cold air. In April, when you have something like that happen, you can warm up quite a bit because of the strong sun and a southwest wind. It's not unusual to be in an overall coldish pattern, but while you're waiting for the next cold front to pass, you suddenly see your temperatures almost reflexively. They want to go at least into the 60s without too much difficulty, much like it did today. I mean, we managed to get into the 60s. And we're going to see those temperatures, especially on Tuesday, as you said, with sunshine rolling up into the 70s before the next front comes through. So the time of year makes a huge difference in terms of, what the day-to-day weather is, and these big, these temperature spikes. And of course now for Thursday, when you get into the end of the week, where Thursday, for example, probably won't be much above the low and mid 50s for highs. That's a good 10 degrees below normal. That's a pretty solid chilly anomaly for this time of year.
Oh, absolutely. And what a change, because it'll be about 5 or 8 degrees above normal probably on Tuesday. And just 48 hours later, we're talking about a similar spread of below normal temperatures. So that's right. It's kind of crazy. Sometimes when you get those those inverted V's, Joe, in April, during a spell of chilly weather. Sometimes we get that, and you get those pea-sized hail or pea-sized hailers with the low-top convection, and that's what we had last year. And if I remember correctly, you and I both, when we were looking at this last year, said, well, we'll get some possible, severe weather in the form of hail and gusty winds. No way we're going to get any tornadoes. And what happened? There was an outbreak of tornadic activity, again, in southeast Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey. So you never know sometimes with these things.
Chuck Cardillo pointing out, now he's 3,000 feet above sea level up in the Catskills there. He says you couldn't survive up where he is without snow tires. And I will give you that, because you get your annual 100 inches plus no matter what, where you are. So yeah, I get it. If you're up there in the mountains where you have to climb up those steep roads, yeah, I guess snow tires are a definite must. Let's look at the.
Do people use chains anymore?
That I haven't.
Do people use chains anymore?
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen it. Maybe some people do, but I haven't seen it.
When I owned a Dodge Polara, and that was a big car, I might add. It was my first car when I was like in my late teens, early 20s. And during snowstorms, I had snow tires, but I also put chains on those tires. So I'm just wondering whether or not, and it's a funny thing, to drive along with chains, you actually hear the car jingle and jangle.
Yeah. The U.S. satellite tonight looks kind of messy. There's the one standout really is the storm that is still spinning away. If you look on the upper right, you can see the old storm from last week, and now over somewhere between Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, rotating clouds back westward. But obviously, it's far enough east where we're not seeing much impact. We're not really seeing very much impact here. But we do have that northerly jet. You can see the clouds that are overhead this evening. Weak upper trough there. There's another weak upper trough. You notice back in the middle Mississippi Valley there, you're seeing a little bit of rotation moving eastward. That's all these things are separate. You got this tropical moisture that's moving across the Gulf of Mexico, across Florida, and that's really where the severe weather risk is today in parts of central Florida. We'll get to that in a moment. But we do see the next cold front, and that is this area here. That's the other standout. That is the next system that is dropping southeastward, and of course that's the leading edge of some of that very cold air that is going to be moving. Again, we'll put that in quotes, very cold air, moving eastward for later this week. The radar as of 7:26. Let me just give this a quick refresh. There are some scattered light showers occurring just north and west of you, Mr. Rayo, and on up into the Catskills. Also scattered around much of Pennsylvania. Looks like a little shower there in northwest New Jersey at the moment at 7:26. In Florida, mostly in the northern part of Florida at the moment, seeing some showers and a few thunderstorms that are starting to develop there. Again, we've been talking about the frontal boundary just kind of sitting there, and that's where most of the heavier rains are going to be during this week. Also some showers in southern Indiana, southern Illinois, down into northeastern Arkansas, seeing some precip moving across southeastern Minnesota, and you're seeing the snow that is on up in Montana that is moving southeastward in the cold air there. The Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk over northern Florida, and not in the Panhandle, but say just south of Jacksonville. And then the marginal risk, the southern line goes from, let's say Port Charlotte on eastward to Melbourne. And the other than that, we do see just a couple of areas of general thunderstorm activity showing up. For Monday, the marginal risk zone, Monday into Tuesday morning, moves a little bit further south, so it's more like central and southern Florida for that. And also you see that SPC has kind of put this little blobby area from northeastern North Carolina northward to southern New England, southwestern New England, and the lower and middle Hudson Valley on the northern end for some general thunderstorm activity. Tuesday, we are going to see a marginal risk there again at about the same spot in Florida for Tuesday, but much of the country, looks like about 95% of the country is going to be thunderstorm free. And on their long range, as I said earlier, on their days 4 through 8, I'll give it another look in case they changed something. I doubt that they did, but on the day 4 to 8 the time frame, they have predictability too low for each of those days. So that takes us right through next week and also into next weekend. We'll see, what they do. We'll see what they do tomorrow because we'll come into the day 3 time frame. I imagine we're going to have them put us in a general thunderstorm activity for sure. Now, whether they stick in a marginal risk or not remains to be seen. And as far as rainfall is concerned, now this takes us to next Sunday night, and some of the models are indicating, at least the European anyway, is indicating the potential for a coastal low next weekend. And WPC's kind of picked up on this a little bit because I can't imagine that they're forecasting 1.5 inches or more of rain solely based on what will happen here on Wednesday. So they must have the European in mind when it comes to showing that rainfall there for New Jersey to southern and western New England on the order of 1.5 inches or more. Again, those heavy rains across central Florida, 3 to 5 inches this week. Also along the Gulf Coast into the southern half of Georgia. Slightly lighter amounts as you go north and west of there in the Ohio Valley and also in the middle Mississippi Valley, 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches in spots. Precip through the central and northern Rockies, much of that being snow, and also some precip finally coming back to the Pacific Northwest on down into northern California. So a little bit more of an active pattern overall shaping up for the next 7 days, at least according to the world that WPC lives in.
I think that the system for the weekend, next weekend, will probably be hitting us Saturday night into the first half of Sunday. I could actually see if that system does wind up and strengthen and move quick, that we might actually salvage the latter part of Sunday. But what am I talking about? I'm talking about a week from now.
Right.
And you know as well as I, Joe, that so many things are going to be happening between now and then that will change the complexion or change the character of what we're looking at right now for next weekend. So that's how it looks now. Come back, Wednesday or Friday of next week, and I'll probably have something completely different to tell you.
All right, so let's take a look. Let's go with the GFS first. And I'm going to switch over to the U.S. view because I think this is probably going to be a little more valuable, so at least we can see what's going on in the West. And again, no major systems here, but you see all that moisture coming out of the Gulf and going over Florida, the scattered activity that is showing up in this evening on the radar. The GFS is picking up on that. And then tomorrow in the afternoon, you will start to see, that little scattered convection there. I'm using the map. I'm not using the radar here. I'm using the map with the rainfall amounts because you see the isobars better on this. And of course, here's the next cold front, the next cold high with the colder air that's pushing down into the northern plains and in the northern Rockies. You see the snow across Nebraska and on up into parts of Wyoming as that cold air sinks southward. So does the snow. So that by Monday night and Tuesday, it's into much of Colorado and also into northern Kansas. Meanwhile, a weak low goes out off the southeast coast. The front that's coming down now doesn't make it here, at least initially. So there's your warm-up for Tuesday with a southwest flow. But low pressure there starts to form in Kentucky. A little wave on that front develops and then moves northeast and strengthens. Yeah, you don't have those V-shaped isobars here with this on Wednesday. It's a bit more of a flatter look to it, at least initially. The low doesn't really strengthen until it gets into eastern Canada, and then the gradient sort of tightens up. Looks like on this run, the gradient actually maybe is a shade less tight because the wave is actually moving a little further east. It'll be interesting to see if this is correct or not. And of course, you also see how the GFS develops all this snow back in western New York, western Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, down into West Virginia, and even into the mountains of western Virginia, getting into a little bit of snow activity, southwest Virginia, eastern Tennessee, just a little smidge there. And that front actually is going to get to me, so I'm going to get some of that cooler air here. I got the 540 thickness almost to me, Joe. Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's a decent cold shot. Now here's this model is doing with regards to next weekend, and I'm just kind of I haven't looked at the upper air, but I'm going to switch to that in a moment. But I mean, it looks like there's a northern stream feature that the GFS runs out well ahead of all this stuff that you see developing down in Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi on Saturday. That front moves on through. I mean, this argues that there's just a cold front that comes through Saturday night, and then it just turns cooler and drier for Sunday. And then you wait for that southern stream feature to move up the coast on the GFS Monday into Tuesday, just kind of keeps it weak and moves it out underneath us. Now, I have the pivotal weather, pivotal weather's European view, and it's a bit it's a bit different here on the European in terms of how it evolves its surface. And I think the main difference is when we check the upper air is that it's the northern and southern parts of the jet stream are probably lined up a lot. They're more aligned on the European than they are on
More of a
the
teleconnection.
GFS. Yeah, more of a teleconnection, correct. So I'm just going to we'll loop the European here and take a look at what it's doing. So you see it also has that scattered convection for tomorrow, then that goes out. The front approaches and stalls temporarily in western New York. You get this wave that develops in Kentucky. So at least from this standpoint, the two models are in sync. The European has a low a little bit further to the west and a sharper line. The European actually does show some convection here coming through Wednesday afternoon. And it actually comes in Wednesday afternoon and it's gone by late afternoon or evening with a 92 low in central Vermont. And it has a tighter gradient here for Thursday. That moves up into eastern Canada and kind of sits there. And now let's watch the next one. See, and here's where the two models differ because the European does not have that northern stream feature just kind of running ahead. It's actually got it hanging back in the lakes. So my guess is it's got more of a phased look to it. A low that goes into central West Virginia, redevelops off North Carolina, and then strengthens off the coast of New Jersey, south of Long Island, Joe. It's got a 989 low for Sunday evening, and a raw, heavy rain all over the place. And then that low just kind of sits there, and then eventually just goes out on Monday. So let's look at what the upper air is doing, so that we can get a feel for this. And by the way, the European, not yesterday, but I think the day before, had some crazy low, like a 972 low east of Atlantic City, south of Montauk for this weekend. Again, all rain event, but watch the GFS with its overwhelming northern stream jet that sort of just plows through here on Saturday, and that southern stream feature just stays completely separate and heads towards the coast on Monday, weakening as it does so. We'll compare that to the European. And the European is dum. Yeah, see, the European, Joe, has a much more developed southern stream feature, and the north doesn't plow through. In fact, the trough almost goes negative to an extent as it reaches the east coast. So big differences in how the models are handling this. And you know what? You look at the teleconnections, which I actually brought up this is the PNA and the Pacific North America Index, which actually goes negative by the middle of this week, and then a number of the members spike positive late this week and going into next weekend. So kind of indicating a ridge in the west. And as far as the NAO is concerned, the North Atlantic Oscillation, which yesterday was sort of indecisive. There you go, NAO. The NAO, oh, good Lord. Wrong link. Now I got the right link. So here's your NAO, which is mostly negative, but there are about half the members actually go positive with the NAO next weekend, and half the members stay negative on the ensemble forecast. They're split 50-50. So I'm thinking that the European probably has a much more negative NAO look. When we look at the North America view, it'll probably confirm that, and I'll bring that up. Yeah, I mean it's a little more blocky.
Isn't that
It's a little more blocky with an upper high in Iceland, kind of holding things in place here in the eastern part of the United States. I'm guessing the GFS is a little different. Just bring that up really fast. Sorry to roll on like this. Yeah, the GFS has the high the instead of having it near between Iceland and Greenland, it's got it much more up towards Scandinavia, and again that northern part of the jet stream moves along and kicks everything out, so it keeps the southern stream weak. So that I think is our forecast dilemma for the long range.
Well, it's like I just said a few minutes ago. I mean, here we are. We're debating and talking and musing and talking over something that's going to happen next weekend, and there's there's a lot of confusion, a lot of discrepancy. It's interesting to look at this and say, well, we'll see something interesting may be happening next weekend, but to try to be precise or concise as to what is exactly going to happen, either on Saturday or Sunday. Most likely, it looks like now more Sunday than anything else. This far in advance, I don't care if you're supposedly a long-range weather expert. You're just going to have to sit and wait like everybody else to see exactly what is going to transpire and what's going to happen. But it's something to look at.
Yeah, it's nice that we'll have something to think about as we go through the week. So I've got my eyes on Wednesday, thinking that they may go with a little bit of a marginal risk. So we have, that's the first mystery, and then the second.
Well, at least we're agreed that tomorrow, day 3. Today it's day 4.
Right.
But tomorrow, when they come out with convective outlook, day 3, which will be Wednesday, in all likelihood, they will have even us in at least general thunderstorm coverage, and maybe even a little bit more than that.
Yeah. So at this time tomorrow night, we'll hopefully have it all figured out. Is Mrs. Rayo up for a Cooking with Jeopardy tonight, or she got her hands full that we changed the schedule?
Well, now that you said that, and I'm sure she's monitoring the chat board. Now that sweetie, hello, wifey,
honey.
Wait a minute. I just heard a chair screech. The kitchen is right above me here.
By the way,
I'm sure that within the next.
By the way, I don't know why I thought about this today, but I had an I Love Lucy flashback, and I thought of you only because I you will appreciate this, but I thought of the episode that's called The Great Train Robbery. Do you remember that?
Is that the one with the where she keeps pulling on the emergency brake?
Right, and there were two things about it that I think is one of the funnier episodes among many funny episodes.
Do I hear a footfall?
Is that you,
Renato Rayo?
Yes, it is I, oh lovely one. Would that I have the power to tell you what is in my heart tonight. What do you mean, my dear?
Hang on. I'm passing the headphones over to.
Well, hold on. No, wait. I wanted to.
He says wait.
Wait a minute.
Wait a second.
All right. Yeah.
No, but I just
telling me about the I Love Lucy.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of the line where Frank Nelson says.
Oh, that's where you hid the cheese.
No, that's another.
That's the wrong episode.
Right. Where he says to her, "Madam, did you stop this train? Did you stop this train? Did you stop this train by pulling that cord?" And she says, "Well, I didn't stop it by dragging my foot." I don't know why I thought of that line. And then, of course, you've got Vivian Vance and William Frawley at the end when it was pulled for the last time. And they come out because every time they were trying to eat, and every time they went to eat, she'd pull the brake and they would be covered in food, and they come out wearing the slickers with the food.
Slickers or ponchos or whatever.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. Leon Probitsky hitting super chat tonight. Thank you, Leon, very much. Most appreciated as always. Enjoy your ribeye steak. Okay, I'm sorry. I got that thought out of my head. I don't know why I thought about that today.
And the orchestra at the end of that particular episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, where did she go? Oh, there she is. Well, here we are. Hang on. Here you are, dear.
Hello, Renata.
Hello, hello.
Hello. All right, you're all set. We haven't
He's got
done
a
this.
big
We
head.
haven't done this in a while.
What?
Okay, here we go. Yeah.
We haven't
What's
done.
the topic? Cooking, but what? Any specific topic?
Let's see. Nothing specific. I think there's a bunch. Most of the questions are kind of general. I think. Yeah, they look like general questions here. All right. So the first question. The first question tonight in French. Okay, in French, this citrus fruit is un pamplemousse. Okay, un pamplemousse. Okay, is it a tangerine, a lime, or a grapefruit?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, no, it's un pamplemousse.
I have no idea. I'm gonna say, just take a very wild guess and say tangerine. I really don't know.
No, it's a grapefruit.
Never heard of it.
No, I never heard of it either. It's a
Grapefruit,
grapefruit. Okay. Question number 2. LaRousse suggests, whoever LaRousse is, I'm not privy to LaRousse, suggests cooking brill, B-R-I-L-L, a flat type of this food in champagne sauce. And the choices here are A, chicken, B, steak, or C, fish.
Champagne sauce. Where does he get these questions? Okay. Champagne sauce. I'm gonna say fish.
And the answer is fish. That is correct. Question
It made the most sense.
Yes. Question 3. Don't throw away this part of the watermelon. Many people cook and pickle it.
That's right. The rind. Yes.
That is correct.
My mom always did that. Yeah. Delicious.
Okay, so now question 4. When a pie has 2 of these, the top one may be woven into a lattice design.
When the pie has 2 crusts.
That is correct.
Lattice crust.
That is correct. If you so since that une pamplemousse, you've been doing quite well. If you put
He forgot that I was German, not French.
right. If you put too much of this in a dish, drop in a peeled potato to absorb it.
Salt.
That's
you put too much salt in the soup or stew, yes, the potato should absorb much of it.
Question 6. Now we're going to go from French to Italian. Zuppa. Zuppa is Italian for this dish. Is it A, soup, B, salad, or C, dessert?
It's Italian for soup.
That is correct, yes. Question 7. Okay. This pasta has straight or ripped edges and it's usually 2 to 3 inches wide. Is it A, penny, B, lasagna, or C, farfalle?
That's lasagna.
Right. Farfalle is
farfalle
is Italian for butterfly. So those are the
like
bow ties. Yeah. So correct. So lasagna is the answer. Okay. So question 8 is a bonus question here, and that question is: on May 10th, the chairman Scott Briller, who provides us with these questions on a nightly basis. Thank you, Scott. The chairman, and happy birthday to your mom again, which was a couple of days ago, I believe. The bonus is the chairman will turn on May 10th 41, 51, 61, 81, or 101.
Well, God bless him if he's 101, but I
Right.
don't think so. Oh, gosh. I'll take a stab in the dark. I think 61. I'm not sure.
61 is correct. One shy of year of taking Social Security early. And that wraps it up. You stumbled at the very beginning with the
Very
une,
beginning.
right? The une Pembelmoose. As I'm speaking Frenchy
We
with
got a
an
small education in French.
right, but you right, but you pretty much wiped the table with the rest of them. Very good.
Okay, great. Great.
I
All right, so
yeah. While all of this
um,
is happening, I got a pan that I cooked some bacon in this morning, soaking in Dawn detergent to get that really works. By the way, if you've got a greasy pan, you put I use hot water and Dawn detergent and let it sit there for a couple of hours, and then
oh yeah,
and it comes right off.
anything that's sticky, grimy, that yeah, don't waste your time and your fingernails and so forth on that.
Oh, not these. No, I don't waste those. Not at all. I bite them, but I don't waste them. Yeah, it works. It really does. Does a great job. And the chairman hitting super chat tonight to saying, "Good job, Renata. Very good." So we'll try this again next week.
All righty, no problem. So, Monsieur Rayo, do you want to come back in? Say goodnight. I think.
Christina Pedia, yeah, no, I did the
think we're
bacon in the oven.
frozen.
That's how I do it. That's what I did it in a pan with a rack. I always cook my bacon in the oven. And now that I actually left the pan in the oven because I had my grandsons here today. So we went out. Oh, anyway, she's switching the mic, the headsets. I was just saying how
Hello.
so I was just saying because Christina Pedia said I should cook bacon in the oven, which is what I do. And then I had left the pan in the oven, so of course all it got cold, so the grease hardened. So I actually heated it up, and then I pour the grease out into a can, which I'll throw in the fridge to get it solid, and then throw it out in the trash later. Yeah, no, I don't do it on the top of the stove. I've done it in the oven for years, and I get this like really thick hickory smoke or applewood bacon, and it is just absolutely sweet and delicious. It's very, very good. I highly
You're making me
recommend it.
hungry, Joe.
I know. And
Can we have some breakfast sausages, the hickory breakfast sausages right now?
What?
For tomorrow morning. I have to wait till tomorrow morning for that.
Well, that's when
dear.
typically you have breakfast in the morning.
Yes, but I'm hungry now. Actually, I shouldn't say that. We had a lovely chicken dinner earlier this evening, so I shouldn't be hungry. But this very talk about hickory smoked, bacon and whatever gets me going.
Tim on the chat board is asking me if I parle français. Je ne parle pas français. Un peu. Because the first question.
So what did you take?
No, because the first question was what's a une Pembelmoose? Une Pembelmoose.
But what did you take in high school?
Italian.
What was your foreign language?
Italian.
No.
Yeah.
I wanted to take French.
Le crayon.
I wanted to take French.
Yeah. No, le crayon est sous la table. Le crayon est sous la table.
Le crayon,
le table. Right, le table. Right. And la plume. La plume.
All right.
I
think Mrs. Rayo left her glasses here.
So now that I butchered,
she's going to be walking around.
So now that I butchered the French language, we'll resume the Joe and Joe show tomorrow night at the usual shopping time, which is 7:30 Eastern. Am I correct?
7:30. See,
right.
Craig Carlberg agrees with me. All this food talk is making me hungry now.
Yeah, I had a big. I made a spinach. I made omelets this morning for everybody. So along with the bacon, I made a spinach with your choice of cheese omelet. So my son-in-law has Swiss cheese. My daughter had Munster cheese, and I had half Munster, half American. And then I made grilled cheese. I made a grilled cheese for my grandsons, which was delicious. I found myself
Well, I
picking
mean, if
their
you
grilled
had
cheese.
Munster cheese, did you invite Yvonne DiCarlo over?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, you know what? Now even me, it's starting to make me hungry, and I had a nice
Yes.
breakfast. Okay, so we'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight on this Sunday. And again, uh, we'll try to go back to the regular 11 o'clock Eastern time Sunday morning show next week, barring any family obligations that either I have or Joe has. For the super chat hitters tonight, we had the chairman, Scott Griller, also had Leon Pravitsky and David Fuller hitting super chat tonight. And to you three, many thanks from Mr. Rayo and I, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 7:30.
See you later.
Good night.
Good night.